Hi, kids, grown-ups, everyone. Today we're talking about the story of the ascension of Jesus, sort of the rising of Jesus up into the heavens. And I'm going to give you a slightly different take on this story than you might be used to, although it's not a new take. So as long as there have been humans, there has been an awareness of a reality beyond the reality that we can see or hear, touch, feel with our senses. There's always been this knowing of reality beyond this material world that we live in. Spiritual realms, awareness of spiritual realms is one way to think about this, kind of other states of being. The spiritual realms are where the ancestors, deceased loved ones, spirit guides, angels, gods, goddesses, all this different kind of ideas about how this spiritual realm, what makes up this spiritual realm. And in a way, you can think of all religions, all spiritual and faith traditions as people mapping out these spiritual realms, right? So you think of like the ancient Romans and Greeks and Egyptians, and they mapped out the gods and goddesses of the heavens, the seas, yes. And then we have the Hebrew Bible, for example, and what some Christians refer to as the Old Testament, where we have sort of this mapping out of there being one God to worship. And we have people like Moses who are able to communicate with that other realm, to hear God, to see God in the burning bush, for example. And then we have the Gospels and the story of Jesus. And one way that we can look at the story of Jesus is that he was a person who was able to move back and forth between the realms. So he lived as a person on the material world, teaching his gospel of love, healing people, teaching us how to pray. And then he died on that material plane in our earthly world. And he went for 3 days to that dimension, that realm where spirits go. And then he returned to the material realm, and in a slightly different form. Remember, Mary Magdalene did not recognize him at the tomb. And then 40 days later, he ascended to heaven. And we can think of him as all of this as an example of him showing us that we are never really separated from each other, that we just exist in these different realms and ways of being. And there is this idea that the cross, the symbol of the cross, where it has this vertical line, is one line of the cross, right? And then it has the horizontal line, and those two lines intersecting create this symbol of the cross. The horizontal is one way of describing the earthly realm. So you think of like a horizon line that we all move around and we live our lives and we talk and we do things. It's the earthly material realm that we all live on. And then there is this vertical realm where we are able to rise up into the heavens or communicate with spirits or angels or however, whatever your belief system is. And then this vertical line also has this downward movement that we could think of as moving deeper into ourselves. So deeper beyond the mask, not just the corona mask, but the kind of the false selves that we play out in front of other people. We move beyond that, deeper than our egos, deeper than our attachments, our addictions, deeper and deeper to our souls. And then we have that upward movement where we are transcending, where we have a sense of transcendence. We have a sense of a place and time out of the ordinary, beyond this earthly, material, horizontal realm. And you might not, I mean, I know a lot of this is, well, let's face it, a lot of people don't believe in this kind of thing. And, you know, what we have now in these times are what I think of as two different kinds of fundamentalists that are on like extreme ways of viewing the world. And then what I'm seeking, what I'm showing is this balance. So these two fundamentalists are, we have religious fundamentalists who say the way that we have mapped out the spiritual realms is the only way that there is, and we're sure it's fact, and it's 100% fact, and you have to listen to us or you're wrong. And then on the other hand, we have materialist fundamentalists that are, you know, if science, as science is right now, cannot prove something, then it is not possible, and it is magical thinking, and it's ridiculous, and it's absurd. And so then there's this middle way, this balanced way, this way of the cross, where we are able to appreciate science and the material world and our earthly lives all on this horizontal plane. And we are also open to the possibilities of this vertical way of being, of moving deeper into our souls, and then also being open to those transcendent mysteries that science cannot yet and maybe can never explain. And now receive a blessing from the faith community who loves you. May you be fully open to all the possibilities, both on the earthly plane, the material horizontal worlds in which we all live. And may you also be open to all the possibilities of this vertical plane, of moving deeper and deeper inside of yourself, to that being able to find peace and well-being in who you are, and then also being open to the possibilities of the spiritual realms. And may you be well. Amen.